This is an audio-only recording of an exercise session for Vision of Adventure. A cycling session led by Kath Finn. Please note that you will need some form of stationary bike with controllable resistance to participate in this session. Recorded in winter 2025.
There we go. Right. Good evening, everybody. Here we go. This is the last session before Christmas, and we will restart in January for 3 weeks. And that date will be Tuesday the 13th. And we're doing a quick little 3-week run. May it extend? We're not sure. So tonight, we're going to help Santa on his little journey around the world, which is going to involve quite a bit of variety of pedaling. And at the minute, the reindeer are just all getting attached to the sleigh and they're like wandering around Lapland, just moving around a little bit easily. And they're going, thought we had a big few meals a couple of days back. Santa's got something up his sleeve. We're all carb loaded and ready to go with Finland's finest food. And all the elves are scurrying in and out of the factory, loading toys. So it's one heck of a big sleigh. And the world looks very large to get round in 24 hours. So those reindeer are going to have to do a bit of hammering about the place. So I know that various people have been pedaling for a little while, which is good because, as usual, even Santa's reindeer need to warm up. So they're warming up and they're quite excited. So they're heading off and Santa's restraining them, holding them back, encouraging them not to burn out too quickly. And for some people, that's harder than others. So he's just going to keep them going nice and steady. And then they're kind of pulling his arms out a little bit. So he's going to keep them in control for a minute or two. And he's going along near the lights along the coast. And it's a crispy, crispy night. So there's lots of stars up above, twinkling lights down below. And then you can see the stars glinting on the sea and also on the snow, because all that area of Finland, Sweden, Norway, very top north of the continent is pretty bitter at this time of year. So the reindeers are snuffing and puffing, and there's clouds of their breath going up into the cold night air. And it sounds amazing, actually. I think that would be a really good sight. You can just hear a little bit of jangling of the bells. And as he's coming around the edge of the coast, they've got to get up a bit because they've got to get up over the sea. And he needs a bit of height because the air is thinner and they can go faster. So they're just starting to put a little bit more effort in, pulling up the slight gradient, not doing anything too rapid. Up we go into the night sky. Beautiful, velvety, dark night sky. So we're flying across the sky, and we're going to go across towards Greenland, which is a bit of a misnomer, really, all things considered. So you can look down and see a massive white shape because the edges of the coastlines are all ice, and most of it is covered in snow or permanent ice. But we're still going, there's not too many people on Greenland. So there's some elves with really good aims that are clutching onto the edge of the sleigh and dropping things off down into the continent, into the country. And then they're starting to go up some more. So as they're going across, a whole load of islands in the Arctic Ocean, and there really isn't anything there except penguins, and they don't get presents from Santa. So there's a bit more acceleration going on so they can get to a place where they need to do some work. And there's going to be a few climatic changes in this. So the reindeer are going to have to get their fueling and hydration right. Currently they're freezing, but they're designed for that. So that's pretty all right. We want that warm-up process, so we're working just a little bit harder. We're looking like we are, and don't know how long these little journeys are going to take, so there's a bit of unknown in the tonight's. Ooh, and then we've spotted lots of lights. And there's a town called Edmonton in Canada, which has my name on it. So we're starting to spiral down a bit because that's quite a big town and it needs a drop off. So we're going to reduce the resistance and we're going to pick up the cadence. So the cadence now should be very fast because we're screaming down through the night sky. And we're coming down towards Edmonton, and there's a special drop-off for the Ludledge family, which is my son's girlfriend's family, and they live just outside Edmonton in Canada. And it's about -40 there, she says, at the minute, still all snowy. So swooping down towards that, still at a high cadence. And then we're evening off a little bit, so standard 90, normal turnover, reasonably easy because you've got a bit of color in you. I think you've worked quite hard that first little bit, and we're coming along across Winnipeg through the Great Lake area, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and we're going fairly evenly paced across all of this because there's a lot of drops to be put in there. And then there's a little right-hand bend in the sky and down into the coast of the United States. And we can't blame the United States children for anything their governments might be doing. So we're going to give them all presents. So we're going to go through Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, dropping bags and bags and bags and bags. Nice and easy. And it's definitely getting warmer. So we're slowing a little bit, very easy pace to let the reindeer pick up some water. And then we're going to pick up that pace again for, half of the United States. So we want cadence at 90 and then effort at about 7. It's out of 10, not 20. So kind of threshold. So comfortably uncomfortable is my best description. And we're doing that for a good minute, which should bring us into central United States. Whoa! And a bit of a slack off while we ride a big circle around Dallas and Houston and drop lots of things off. This is doing worldly good for my geography. So I'll have half a minute just circling there, chucking some stuff out with a little like offshoot to Miami. And then we're going to have a long haul up to Vancouver. So we want to go up to that effort level 7 again. For, it's going to take us, I think, 2 minutes to cross here. Fantastic. And now the reindeer are starting to settle in. They're all starting to pull together as a team, working a bit hard, concentrating. And all the pulling and puffing and trying to shoot off from the first little bit has died down, settling into nice, even stride. Lovely, about halfway through. The plains of Central State. We're going up to the other side, so the west side to Vancouver and settle. And then there's the whole of the Rockies to come down. Good work, reindeers, going for it. Keeping it nice and consistent. You've got about another half a minute. And at that point, we're turning, well, it looks abruptly on the World Atlas, but probably gently sloping left, taking the whole sleigh round, making sure none of the parcels fall off the side. And we're climbing up to go over the Rockies. So we want to drop our cadence down to 60 and get quite a high resistance. So more or less as much resistance as you can manage while keeping your bum in the seat. And we're just going to give you a timer on that so you've got a bit of help. So one knee should be coming up to the top of the pedal stroke every time. So your right knee, say, every time there's a beep, should be at the top. Glutes and quads should be working. And we are pushing up through the night sky. The sleigh's still quite heavy, so there's quite a lot of drag on this that you're having to haul up. Climbing, climbing, climbing over the trees. Absolutely stunning in the autumn. It is on my tick list. I'd love to go there. Hopefully, we might go in 27, which would be pretty amazing. Oh, very nice. Holding another 30 seconds like this. And when we get to the end 15 seconds or so, I want you to transfer straight into that effort 7, cadence 90, because we're going to then shoot along the highway in the sky across the top of the Rockies. Now you've pulled up through them. So you can hear it gradually rising. Now on 90. So cadence probably needs to be a little bit easier, but the stress on the cardio system is more. We're making up some time. Flying along the Rockies. But the Rockies are really large. There's something like, is it 3,000 miles? I have to look it up. But, so we need to do this for a while. Dead on. The Rockies stretch for about 3,000 miles. So get going, thy reindeer. Got at least another minute. Well done, looking good. Presents out the side to the scattered communities. It's getting warmer as we're heading down towards more into the south. And then I think we might have to have a little bit of a spurt just to get over the Mexico border area, because that's a bit dodgy all in all. Okay, we're going to do a very short little burst, 15 seconds or so of fast pedaling, and we're going to go in 5, 3, 2, 1. Fast pedaling, 15 seconds. 5 gone. 10 gone. 15. Ease off. We've come all the way through Canada, United States. We've gone over the borders into Mexico. So we're just going to take a little bit of a breather here. And we are going to keep moving through Mexico at this kind of nice pace. It's quite a lot of population. Then we're going to go through all the interesting countries of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador. And a little sidetrack into the islands, Jamaica, Haiti, St. Lucia, Dominica, all of those places, which sound really nice destinations for the winter. However, I think the reindeer might be quite upset if we stay there. They're really not suited to it. Okay, we're doing a bit of chopping and changing. So I think we're just going to have a different pace. So we're going to stand up and cycle off the saddle if you can. Hold on tight. Because we're chopping our way through lots of little streets, one side to the other. Past us going through the doors, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And a reasonably light resistance will help you get your legs round, but too light a one will make it really difficult. That looks really nice. The bells are ringing, presents are going. Dee, 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 dee. Oh my gosh. And we're coming up to Colombia. I think we might have to sit down and pedal fast for that one. There's a lot of drug lords in there. That's a wide generalization, by the way. I'm not taking anything out on Colombia. It's a beautiful country. But we are going to sit down and be ready to sprint again. I'll give you 30 seconds. It's quite fun going around the world, I have to say. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds hard. Through Colombia at the rate of knots, dropping a massive pile in Bogota because they all deserve it. Some of the houses there are not great. 3, 2, 1. Okay, just take a break. Take a chill pill. We're going over the forests in Brazil. There's an awful lot of, well, hopefully there's still a lot of monkeys and wildlife in there, but not too many people. So we don't have to concentrate too much on who's below us. And we're going to have a good couple of minutes just to let some people get the breath back a little bit, settle down again. Oh, we got to go down the Andes, though, because they're amazing. Now, those I have been to. I went to the Andes in Peru, and I'd never been at altitude, and I'd never seen a glacier. and it blew my little mind. I went for a trek on my own, much to my mother's disgust. Don't think she's forgiven me like 50 years later. No, 40 years later. And I camped underneath the glacier, not directly underneath, but kind of nearish. And I didn't realize they made noises because the ice splits and it cracks. You know, all these noises through the night. And it was really exciting, but I knew I was like far enough away to be safe. And then I woke up in the morning and it had snowed. So I've got no snow kit. I'm at God knows what altitude. I haven't, and I'm just there on my own, not really knowing where I am. I'm like, this is exciting. It was one of my bigger adventures that kind of worked, but it was quite lucky, I think, that it worked. So I walked down into a wrong valley. I didn't know where I was. And I was just like, sure that something had to go to the capital sooner or later from somewhere. And a bus came down with the right sign on the front. I was like, that is amazing. God is on my side. So after that rendering of Adventures in Peru, I slept above a whole, I don't know what you call them, not a nest of guinea pigs, but a whole collection of guinea pigs in someone's house. And that's their larder. And they just go and get one when they want one, very kind of. And guinea pig is a little bit like chicken. And if you're not a meat eater, I apologize. So we're going up again. We're coming out of the jungle, going back up into the mountains. So again, we want to go that low cadence. And a high resistance, 20. As we're going to go through Ecuador and Peru and Bolivia and Chile and Argentina, and there's Paraguay tucked in there as well, and Uruguay down the bottom. I think we might have to get a subset of reindeers to deliver Uruguay, because it's going to be a very long trip if we go to every country. So on the west coast is the Atacama Desert. So we have a big range, but once again, we're pulling up over mountains. Jagged peaks. They still have glaciers. They haven't all melted. Snow caps. I know there might be some storms coming up. And reindeers aren't very good at storms. They're really good in cold, but they're not very good in wet. So at some stage, we might have to take some evasive action to get round the storms and be able to deliver to La Paz. But we're still going up with a nice drag on that overgeared efforts. Oh, that looks like it's not too steep a slope. Oh, maybe the effort's beginning to kick in a little bit now. Can we feel our quads and glutes? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Okay, grand. Thumbs up all round. That's what I like. And we're coming to the summits. So we're able to just about ease off in another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And coast a little bit. Not for long, because that storm is chasing us. And now we need a little bit of acceleration. So we want that effort 7, 90 cadence to just whip round this storm that's coming towards us. And we're going to go east, which will get us out of the eye of it. We might get a bit damp around the edges. Nice work. Hooray! We've gone fast enough not to get us soaking. Good job. Oh, we've got, oh, do penguins live in the Antarctic? Or the Arctic? Oh, thumbs up for the Antarctic. What about the Arctic, Di? Okay. I should know that. So there's also the Antarctic British Scientific Base. So we need to drop them off a little cash into their own transport to take down there. So we're going to ease off to relax for half a minute. That means the elves can get rid of the presents going down to the Antarctic. Interesting. And of course, we have to drop a little pile for the Falklands. We fought so hard for, and it's a tiny little block, but it guards the entrance to potentially the oil and mineral fields. It's a great life. Okay, we've dropped off presents there, and we need to cross the Atlantic Ocean. And it's always pretty wild around that area. In Cape Town, around the Horn of Africa, which is where we're heading. So I think we want a little bit of hard as we're going up the waves and a little bit of fast as we're going down them. So we'll do some 30-second blocks. Now I would go for maybe about 100 cadence, so a little bit faster than the normal, and probably about 6-7 effort. So we're going to go up quite quickly, and then we're going to go down really fast, but with less resistance. So 90, 95, just a touch faster. And we're going to do, let's do 4 of those to get us over the main waves. So 10 seconds to go, and we want like a medium, it's almost like a medium sprint. 3, 2, 1. So kind of medium-y sprint to escape the waves, get up as the waves cresting towards us. And it's going to dip over the crest in 10 seconds. And then we want less resistance, but a fast cadence. 3, 2, 1. Less resistance, but we still want quite a fast cadence. Should be relatively relaxed. And we're shooting down the other side of the waves. We've got 15 seconds before we go up the next one. So 5 seconds till we put a little bit more resistance on. 3, 2, 1. Up the next one for 30 seconds. Having to work hard to get across the sea. It's the worst weather and worst conditions we've met so far this trip. 10 seconds. And then we're going to go down the other side. So that's resistance off, but still quite a quick cadence. 3, 2, 1. Slacken it off. Relax your cadence, but keep it quite fast. And in 15 seconds, we're going to put more power on again and go up the wave. Three, 2, 1. A little bit more. Keep a reasonably good cadence. We're going up that wave. So it's like going up a sharp little incline. So it's not like a Lakeland Hill that you'd settle into. It's maybe something more like you might find in Yorkshire or Cornwall, where the incline is short and sharp and you're putting a bit of effort in just to get over the top of the wave. And now we're going to go down the other side in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take some of the resistance off. Shooting down the other side, and we're 3/4 of the way there when we've done this. We've got another little bit to come up. Ready for that other bit, the last big wave to get up. 3, 2, 1. So a bit of resistance on, you're climbing that steep ramp to pull over the other side. Well done. Brilliant job. I can see land. We're getting there. We've got one more shoot down the other side into land. In 3, 2, 1. Try and keep the cadence, but relax. And we're going to get out of those really stormy, boisterous waves that could do us a lot of damage and onto the continent of Africa. Hooray! 3, 2, 1. And ease. We've reached safe harbor. So let's just take a couple of minutes. That's looking like that was quite hot and sweaty work. Well done. You got the whole sleigh and all its presents all the way across that ocean in safety. So brilliant job, reindeer. And we're going to mosey our way on up through Africa in a minute, but we're just hanging around in South Africa to start with, because there's some good food sources and there's lots of houses that have left very nice things out for Santa, so he's just making the most of them before he goes into the rest of Africa. That's good. Let's have another minute, reasonably easy. Oh my heavens. So looking at his watch, working out, we've maybe done a third of the world. But there's another 2/3 still to get round before he's got to go home. So we're going to do a round of Africa, and then I think we might have to dive across the Indian Ocean, end up in Australia, with a very special stop in New Zealand. So we're going to pick up that little pace again. So we want the 90 cadence, 7 out of 10 effort. And we're going to do a couple of minutes of that. Starting 3, 2, 1, now. And that will take us through a lot of the places there. If we're really lucky, we might see lions. We'll definitely see scrublands. We'll also see desert and giraffes and hippos. Might find a cheetah somewhere, but you have to look very, very carefully for some of these. And can we give the crocodiles a miss? I don't think reindeers will get on very well with crocodiles. That's looking nice. And the elves say that you're doing nice and steady, stable, so that they don't feel frightened. They can concentrate on present chucking and they don't have to worry about getting chucked off the sledge. So that's what we want. It's what a lovely, good galloping technique provides. We've got another minute or so of this. And it's looking very good. All the way up into the Sudan area. If we go round a bit, we're going to come through Morocco, which has great climbing and walking. And then cut east all the way across to Egypt, which has the pyramids. And I think some people might try to swap the reindeer for camels. And I don't think camels will be very good at this job. So we're going to keep a hold of the reindeer. Lovely. And we're just going to afford to have a little trot through Sudan. So we'll go nice and easy for 30 seconds. And then we're going to take to the Indian Ocean. This is a little bit more friendly than the one round Cape Horn and the Atlantic. So we're going to have little bits of sprints and then 30 seconds rest. So it's 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And then when we get to Australia, there's a big bit of desert in the middle, so we can go nice and slowly there. So in 15 seconds, we're taking up back into the ocean. And we're going to do 30 seconds hard. 3, 2, 1. You do have 4 of these, so just pace them a little bit. Lovely, inky black waters. Spray on the tops of the waves that we're just jumping over. 3, 2, 1. Easy till the next one comes in. Nice, give those legs a little break. Nearly ready to go again. Here comes it. I can see the fluorescence on the top of the waves. 3, 2, 1. Quick burst just to give us some daylight. Halfway through. Lovely still top bodies. Well done. 5, 3, 2, 1. 2 done. 30 seconds to recover. And let the waves and the winds take us. Are we ready to go again? 3, 2, 1. Halfway through these sprints, as the waves lick the back of the sleigh, pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. Lovely. Halfway through, escaping that water. Oh, how anyone would want to swim the channel, I don't know. The thought of being in an ocean is just like, for me. 3, 2, 1. We've escaped dumping me in the ocean, thank goodness. We've got another half-minute rest, and then we've got another little bit to avoid. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Last big push. Lovely. Great effort. 3, 2, 1. Coming into Perth in Australia. Now that's a dead good place. So just take a nice easy pedal while we get a fair number of presents off here. And then it's really hot because it's desert country. So we're just going to go nice and steadily across Australia. Good sprint work through there. And we're going to hop across the ocean to New Zealand and go up to Auckland. And we're going to go really, really slowly around Auckland. I mean, I could have given this to a subset of reindeers, but my daughter's living in Auckland. So we're just going to go nice and slowly there so we can deliver her presents to the door. And once those are dropped off, we're going to turn back west and start going up through Indonesia and Papua New Guinea and lots of little islands that we need to drop things off at. So for these ones, we're just going to do a little bit of cycling up and cycling down and cycling up. So we're jumping between the islands. So we've got to go up, boing, up, boing. Okay. So we're going to stand in 20 seconds. And we're just not going to stand for huge amounts of time, maybe 15 to 30 seconds. Ready to stand. 3, 2, 1. Hopping over the ocean to Papua New Guinea. Lovely, we're nearly there. Coming into land. 3, 2, 1. Sit while we travel through the island. Oh, and be getting ready to leap off the other end of it. 3, 2, 1. Up again. And this time we're flying along to different parts in Indonesia. Jakarta. Oh, we're going to come down in that little set. 3, 2, 1. Down we come. Easy along it. We have to get across to Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. So we're going to go up again. 3, 2, 1, and up. There's a quick hop to there. We can sit down. So we pull through some of that. Now it's coming into Thailand area, but we've just neglected the Philippines, who also need their presence. So we're going to turn a sharp right. We're going to head eastwards and a couple more stands. 3, 2, 1, up we go. Across to Manila in the Philippines. And the pictures I've seen of areas here look amazing, but I've never been to anywhere like this. Maybe when we stop racing. 3, 2, 1, down we go. Oh, we've still got to come back through Europe. We're toddling up through there at the minute. And then we better have one more little hop to get to Hong Kong. So we're all still over that kind of hot equatory type place. And presents going out right, left and centre. And one more little stand to take us across to Hong Kong, and then we'll be into China, India, Russia. Russia's huge. 3, 2, 1, and off you go. 10 more seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And be seated. Well done. We have landed in Hong Kong, having jumped and bounced our way around those little islands. Luckily, the sleigh is getting a little bit lighter because we're getting to the last third of the world, so quite a lot has been dropped off. And the other thing is that lots and lots of Russia is, I believe, forest, with very few people in the northern sections. China is quite well populated as far as I know, so there's a lot of towns to scatter things into there. And India is really, really busy, very well populated. So we need a lot of playing around in that. So I guess we ought to get a little shifty on. So we're going to do a little fast bit through China and India, and then duck into Russia, and that one might be a little bit of a slog. So we're going to go back. In half a minute, we're going to go back to effort level 7 for 2 minutes, which is going to allow us to drop lots of things into China. And then India is just a scattergun effect of presents because there are lots and lots of people that need things. Three, 2, 1. Effort level 7. Off we go. This is solid work now by the elves and the reindeers. Just for a couple of minutes. Great job's being done here. We've also got the Himalayas in there, so they're impressive. But Santa's happy that if we just keep at this pace and keep plodding away, we'll be all right. And he's right. We're going well. Everything's being dropped off. One misfire into the Caspian Sea, but you can't have everything. And then we're going to go up into Russia. Now, that could just be a bit of a slog getting across the Russian continent. So you've got half a minute here. We'll have a 15-second breather. And then we'll do overgeared for 2 minutes through Russia. 15 seconds left. Well done. 3, 2, 1. Have a quick little breather. And then we're going to go straight into overgeared effort to slog it through Russia in a headwind. So that's when your cadence drops. And that's it on now, and your resistance goes up. So it's strength again for your quads and your glutes. And there's not that much to see in Russia. It just looks like It's some little towns that look pretty cold. But the reindeer are happy because they didn't really like the heat of Australia very much, or Africa. So they're feeling a lot more content. Lovely work. We're halfway across. And we've got another 45 seconds. "30 seconds to go, 3/4 done." And I can just about see Turkey. So we're coming out of the cold lands of the northern area, coming down into a more temperate climate. 3, 2, 1. And now it's a bit more comfortable. Just I would say take a rain check or take a chill pill for 30 seconds or so. Because there's one place we haven't been and need to go. Well, in fact, 2. Israel and Gaza haven't been visited yet. And there's definitely some people there that could do with something nice this Christmas. And whatever you think about what's going on, the children didn't start it. Or maybe they did, but they were big children. And these are presents for little children. Very lucky we live in a country of free speech. Or free-ish speech anyway at the minute. But we want to do this one fairly quick. So we're going to go in half a minute. We are going to go for a minute fast. Now that's quite different from 30 seconds, so pace it well. You've got 20 seconds to go before we go into the firing line. 15. 5, 3, 2, 1. A minute fast. And just remember to pace it a little bit because you've done a lot of work getting this far. 15 seconds gone. Great work. Well done. Half a minute gone. Only 15 seconds left. You've cracked it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Whew, we're through. Congratulations. Well done. And now we can just keep moving. Don't have to be hard, but if you just move your legs, that will help your body. Nice and easy. We only now have the lovely little trot through Europe. And we are going to trot that, so we're now on cool down. Santa's happy that we're going to get back in time. I'm going to do a big, wide scattergun distribution of presents over lots of lovely places. Romania, Poland, Austria, Italy, France, Spain, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland. There's a few others in there as well. Holland, Denmark. Just nice and easy, paddling it out. Obviously can't forget Britain, so we need to duck over there, but we'll do that at the same pace. And we'll wander our way through the very varied countryside of Europe. Very lucky to have so much variety so close to us. And that's one thing that Sarah really misses in New Zealand. It is still quite a long way to get to Australia. And you can go to the South Island from the North Island, but that's kind of more or less it, unless you want a big flight. So that's great. There'll be a good feed for those reindeer waiting back up in Finland. And Santa's ready to disappear back inside his house and have a couple of quiet days, recover after all of that. But we're going to come back with no injuries or lameness or illness because we're just taking the time to let everybody recover. How we're going to come gently down into Santa's factory and yard area. Has to have a factory because he's got to make so many toys. I can't have him in a quaint little wooden hut, which is how he's usually pictured. And there's a scoosh of snow out the back of the sledge runners as they come down and hit the icy snow. And a bit of snorting and puffing. And oh yes, we're back here. Hooray, it's dinner time. And on that lovely note of success, we shall say goodbye to Santa, the elves and the reindeers for at least another year.